ways. So we always do cash offer, owner financing. We have 3 different owner financing numbers and a bank financing number. So you want to make sure that you're able to put offer when we don't put one offer in, we put like, 4 different offers in. And so that's how we run. This is how we run our numbers. And then here's the inputs. Now, when we run our numbers, we run our numbers in 3 different ways. Current is like as is right now, what is it making? Potential is taking it from not full to full, right? So you can see it's at 46% vacancy, and our goal is to get it to 8% vacancy. Okay. And then the after updates really is like opportunity. Okay. We want to get it to 89 cents a square foot, right? And 8% vacancy. So how does that look? Okay. How does that look? We run our numbers in 3 different ways: current, potential, and after updates. Okay. And then you can see here that there's a current, there's a potential, and after updates valuation. Once you input all your numbers here, right? Once you input all your numbers, then you just have your valuation. So you could see what your NOI is. You can see, what your income's going to be. You could see any, you can look at all the numbers here, equity, this kind of stuff. So currently, this is what we'd make with, if we got it full without raising any rents. If we're just like, okay, we're going to just keep it status quo, and all we're going to do right now is we're going to just get it full. Like we're going to market until we can get it full. Then that's what this is. All right. And then the valuation after updates is like, okay, now we're like stabilizing this property. This is what it's going to look like when it's stabilized. Okay, so that's how we run our numbers. So on the info tab, I just wanted to point out, if you could see on the left here, this is how you can run your numbers in 5 different ways. So we always do cash offer, owner financing. We have 3 different owner financing numbers and a bank financing number. So you want to make sure that you're able to put offer when we don't put one offer in, we put like, 4 different offers in. And so that's how we run. This is how we run our numbers. So we always push on all of our deals. We push creative deal structures, especially on a deal like this, right? So I mean, it's 46% vacant and it's only making $35,000 a year, right? So, so this would be the perfect opportunity for owner financing. Now, obviously, we're way overpaying. I'm buying this at a -1 cap rate, even though we're running our numbers at a 6 cap, right? I'm buying it at a -1 cap rate. Okay. And so that means that I'm going to be coming out of pocket every single month, right? We're going to be coming out of pocket to stabilize this facility. That's where the cash flow sheet comes in, right? This is where the cash flow comes in. But I just wanted to point out, like, depending on your scenario, are you going to have to get bank financing? Well, then run your numbers under bank financing. What if the owner says no? I only want to sell this thing, with either cash or financing. Then you have that option to run those numbers this way. Or if you want to do some owner financing, if you can get the owner to sell or finance, you can run your numbers that way as well too. Okay. But whatever it is, so we paid cash for this deal. I just paid cash. But you can run your numbers in any scenario. Okay. And then remember, like if you have to go and get bank financing, right, you want to make sure that you just keep an eye on your debt to service ratio. This is like that line that the bank says, I will lend the money to you if you can get to this DSR. And typically that DSR is anywhere from 1.2 to 1.3. All right, SBA loans will go down to 1.15 typically. But so you want to ask your lender, what is your debt service ratio? What do you want that number to be, so that I can run my numbers based on that as well too. And that is where you're going to add your financing inputs. So now you can see here that you've got your financing inputs. This is where you're going to be like, okay, I'm coming up with a whole bunch of different ways to run my numbers. I'm running them with cash. I'm running kind of a couple different financing offers. This is where I'd be like, maybe let's put these here. And then I'm also running it with bank financing. I mean, right now, I mean, you'd be at like 30% down and let's say 8% interest. Okay. And your loan would be like maybe 5 years over 20. Okay. And then, if you paid $1 million for this facility cash, your cash on cash is at 20%. Right? Because obviously you're paying cash, right? So you're gonna have a high cash on cash return. Now, if I went, oh no, that was cash, sorry. But if I went to cash, you could see the numbers here. Yeah, so 20%, 43%. And then if you run your numbers at bank financing, you could see also that your your cash on cash right here, depending on what your terms are, is where you're going to be. All right. And these are all numbers based on you stabilizing the deal, like looking at the deal and stabilizing the deal.
Hey everybody, this is Stacy here. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am here to teach you how to get your foot into this industry. You're watching this video because you want to learn how to get started in self-storage investing, or maybe you own facilities and you want to be a better manager, a better owner. That is what I do, is I teach people how to do that. So please like this video and also subscribe, hit the subscribe button, because that's what YouTube wants. So in order for me to get out the word on how to get started in this industry, I really need your help. Again, I appreciate you listening to me, and I'm here to help you on this journey, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.